Whoa, look at this one. Looks like a dinosaur foot. Crazy. Morning, guys. Welcome out to another beautiful day on the farm. Today, we're loading some semis. So they think they're sending 5 or 6 this morning, and then they'll send 5 or 6 at night to load or to unload the next morning. So the only problem we have right now is we don't have enough cords to be able to fill the semi, and then when the semi's full, we would just switch it back to the cellar until the next semi pulled in. So we don't have enough cords to run everything. The semis, they fill up, and then we have to stop. We can't just keep going. So they stop, move, put another one in, and then they keep going, because we have to unplug a cord and plug into the other conveyors to get everything to run all the way down to the cellar. So normally, if we had enough cords, there's just a switch, you switch, and it would just, everything would go the other way into the cellar. But we don't have that luxury today because we don't have enough plugins for all the cords. So this is what we're gonna have to do, at least while loading semis, which is only maybe a couple hours in the morning, a couple hours at night. The rest of the day will be fine. Like they just got it started. I wonder if they were having some issues this morning. Potatoes look really good. Hopefully they like them. Now these potatoes are headed straight to the fresh pack, and they'll run them through their plant, they'll pack them, and they'll ship them out today. So these potatoes could potentially be at your grocery store within the next day or two. I hope you guys get some of them. They're really nice. Okay, so that's one semi down, 2 more to go. It's a lovely morning this morning. Once the dew is off, I have to go cut hay, but right now the dew is making everything a little bit too wet in the hay field. Well, just standing here, I'm at the very end of the line. So it comes out of the even flow bin, across the sorter table, and then across the sizer. Most of the rocks, it's a pretty rocky field. Most of the rocks get sorted out by here, but some of them still make it by. So I'm here at the end of the line before it goes into the truck, making sure none of those rocks got past. Like here's a rock right there. Looks kind of like a potato when it's just zipping by. That's a rock. So I'm looking for rocks, looking for dirt clods. The sad part is, since this is fresh, like this potato, that would still be a really good potato. But it's got this weird knot on the side, and it's broke off on this side. So that gets rejected. So I could let this go into the truck, but then they'll pick it out there, and they'll reject it. So I just gotta toss it. It's a good potato, but they don't want it. Like there's another one, broken. Has a knot on the side, they don't want it. So I have to pick out those. There's also some potatoes that have some green ends on them. I'll see if I can find one here in a minute. I'll look while you guys just watch the potatoes roll. But what's crazy is, look how big some of these potatoes are. There's another broken one. These potatoes are Norcotas, which don't usually get very big. But just seeing how many of these are really big potatoes is crazy. There are so many really big potatoes. There's a green one. This one has a little bit of green on the end right there, which means this part of the spud was probably sticking through the soil as it was growing, and the sun made it green. They don't want that one either. Even though you can cut that off, that's a good potato. They don't want it. So out it goes. There's a rock. But just looking at the size, these are all very nice sized potatoes. They're very, very large. Hopefully some of these big ones will make it into you guys' bags and boxes. I don't really know how they sort or categorize what potatoes go into what boxes. I know they have different counts with different weights of potatoes. I know a lot of the big ones go into something called a 40 count, which is a box of bigger potatoes. So I don't know, hopefully you guys get some of these big ones. I know a lot of you have commented saying that these little ones are about the biggest ones you can find in the stores, which I don't really have any control over that. I wish you could find some of the monster ones. This one's broken, so it's out. I mean, we have potatoes regularly that are 13, 14 inches long and about 4 or 5 inches in diameter. That'll feed a whole family. A rotten one. There's another rock. It's usually, by the time they get to me, usually it's just the big rocks that get by. All the little ones have been picked out. But these potatoes look really good. Just a few little defects here and there, but for the most part, they're all going into the truck and they're all going into the stores. Look, some of them have really funky knots on them. Looks like an alien or somebody with a really big nose. I don't know. Synthesloth. Hey, this one looks like a heart. Kinda. It's a heart potato. Out it goes, because it's not perfect shape. I wish there was a place that we could send all the really weird looking potatoes that have defects, that they could take them and sell them to people. Or give them to people, but there really isn't. Some people have said, I'll take it to a food bank. The amount of potatoes that we sort out, no food bank would accept. They might accept a few hundred sacks. Every one of these 10-wheelers holds 300 sacks. I don't know a food bank that would accept 300 sacks of potatoes all at once. And we can't store them, we don't have the space. So they end up just getting thrown out. Now that I know there was a company that they were taking potatoes and they were freeze drying them, because another thing is, it's hard to get potatoes to ship outside the country as fresh, because you have to keep them refrigerated and cool. You can't let them get warm, and it's hard to do that. So a lot of these potatoes will stay inside the United States. Now, I have heard of a company that is actually taking potatoes like these and they're freeze drying them. So freeze drying them, take all the moisture out so they won't rot or go bad, and then they can ship them across the world. Now, I don't know how involved that process is, or how much money it costs, or how much the freeze dryer is, or how big it is. But that seems like it would be a really good idea if you could take these potatoes, freeze dry them, send them across the world, and then you just have to sit them in water and let them soak back up and eat them. I mean, in theory, it should work pretty good, but I don't know how to do that. And I don't know the company that does it. I've just heard that there's somebody that's doing it. But that would be a great way to get rid of some of these ugly ones. You could freeze dry them and sell them in a bag of ugly potatoes. Or weird potatoes. But looks like that semi's full. We have 2 more, I think, that are over there waiting. And then we'll get them loaded, and then hopefully we can just start running them back into our cellar. We had to switch cords around and stuff just to get this to run because we don't have enough cords. But normally, right now, when they're switching, we would just switch this conveyor's direction and send them that way, but we can't because we don't have enough cords to run everything. So we'll get these semis loaded. They're almost done with that field as well. So hopefully here in the next hour, we'll be switching fields to a field that isn't so rocky, because this one's really rocky, but I think the next one is not. It's sandy, but it's not rocky. Well, while these guys finish loading semis, looks like there's just one that's backing in, there's one waiting, so hopefully there's only 2 more. But while they finish loading semis, I'm gonna go get the swather. Gotta get it fueled up, filled up with DEF, and ready to go. So as soon as the dew is off, I can go start cutting hay, because we have a lot of hay that needs to get cut this week. And I might be jumping back and forth between cutting hay and pulling trucks, because the next field has a sandy piece, and I might have to pull trucks once they get to that spot. I don't know, unless they can find somebody else to pull trucks. But we really need to get the hay cut too, because it's gotta dry. All right, now I gotta get some DEF, because this thing needs DEF. But I think I'm gonna turn this truck's lights off first before the battery goes dead. I was almost done servicing the swather, and I got a call that a bearing went out on the harvester. So now I'm on my way out to the field with some bearings. So hopefully we can get it fixed soon. All right, so it's the PTO bearing then, carrier bearing.
Yeah.
Luckily we had one.
More, Terry?
Yeah, we have a few more of these because these are the ones we use for the BTR beds for the beaters.
Okay.
That's the only reason we have these. If we didn't have those BTR beds, we wouldn't have had any.
There's that impact gun right behind you.
We need 3/4.
3/4 socket? Yeah, I imagine that was shaking around pretty bad.
I didn't even notice it.
Really?
I noticed it. These wires broke when I was finishing topping off the last truck out of the last field.
You want to take this sensor off?
I just unplugged it. I can take it off later. Anyways, yeah, what happened was I had this chain here for the guard. Usually I have hooked to this shield.
Uh-huh.
And it came off and grabbed my wires and broke all my wires.
Oh.
Well, it probably came off because this bounced around and took the chain off. Okay.
Well, I guess it's a good thing you got out and checked it.
Well, actually, it said there's because it moved and it broke the sensor.
Oh yeah.
It showed on the screen like PTO with an X. I'm like, what the frick does that mean? So I tried turning it on, and sure enough, the PTO was bouncing around.
Huh.
On the conveyor, on the.
There we go. Okay, I finally made it out to the field. Dew is gone, and I guess there was also a little bit of rain, but it is all dried up now. It's been pretty windy this morning. So we've done quite a bit. I mean, got it all opened up. I do still have the entire pivot to do, but all the opening up of the outside of the pivot has been done. So this is what I'll be doing most of the day. When the dew comes back on, I may go try chisel plowing later. I don't know if I'm going to be pulling trucks or if Trevor is just going to stop driving truck and start pulling trucks, because the field that we just moved to is only 2 miles from the farm, so it's pretty close. Trevor was driving the extra truck just because it was a long haul, but now that we're fairly close, we may not need all the trucks, so we'll see. But I'm going to keep going on this and see how much I can get done today. A little coyote out here just hopped out of the pivot track. I've done quite a bit. I just have, I think, 3 more pivot rings to go. Shouldn't take me too much longer. There he is, sneaking through the hay. Alright, I finished this pivot. I'm now moving the pivot center. I'm moving the pivot back. So hopefully it'll be about the right spot for when we need to come through and rake all this. I have no idea how long it's going to take for all this hay to dry because, well, it's not getting very hot anymore these days. I think the highs are like 70 at the most. And there's lots of dew. So I have no idea when this is going to be ready to rake, let alone bale. But at least it's cut. Hopefully we can get it put up before it gets rained on and ruined. So I have one more piece across the canal over here, and then that'll probably be about all I get done today. All right, well, the sun is going down and I am in a different field. I'm not on the pivot. I've actually almost finished this whole field. I wasn't sure if I could get this field done. It's hard to do this with one hand. Up and turn. It's hard to do this with one hand while filming, but this is a little field and I've only got a little bit left, so, and the dew has not come on yet. I think it's going to start coming on here pretty soon, so I'm gonna hurry and try and get this done and then we can head over to the cellar. We do have a pretty cool sunset tonight though. That looks pretty sweet. All right, I'm back here at the cellar now, just checking things over. We'll walk down to the cellar and see how much they put in, because they didn't have very much in the cellar this morning. So, but it's crazy how much how much dirt falls through this thing, and all the little rocks and all the little potatoes. So he does a good job of getting all the crap out of it. It's like most of it falls out in the first 2 or 3 feet. After that, not a whole lot falls out. I was kind of worried about the potatoes on this field being weird shaped or whatever, because this field has a lot of sand, which right now we're not in the sandy piece. That's why there's all this dirt. We're not in the sand yet. It's still in the heavy soil, but it has a lot of sand in it, and it didn't get watered correctly the first couple weeks. And that was my fault because I'd never run sand before. So I thought these potatoes were going to be really weird looking, but they all actually look really nice. So I guess maybe I can find one that can cause something like this. Like how it's really pointy on this end. So I guess if it doesn't get watered evenly, it'll get pointy on one end. So it didn't get watered super even from the start. So the ends of them are a little bit pointy, but they look good enough that I don't think it'll hurt us at all. And it's not every single one of them's pointy. It's like a lot of them are good looking potatoes. That one's got a little point on the end of it, but they're really good looking. I think they'll be good. So let's go down the cellar and see how much they put in there. Whoa, look at this one. Looks like a dinosaur foot. Crazy. Well, it looks like they've got a pretty good pile in the back to here. This is our biggest cellar, so it's really deceiving how full it is. Normally, when we were doing process, we would stack them clear up to the lights way up there. And with fresh, you don't want to stack them that high because then you can get pressure bruise. So they're not stacked. I think they're about 16 to 18 feet high, which is about the standard for fresh potatoes. But the pile looks really good. These potatoes look really good. I'll be curious what the tear and everything is on these potatoes. But it looks pretty nice. Yeah, with process grade, it'd be stacked another 8 feet all the way up to that light. But we don't want to bruise these ones. That's why the piler is basically like right on the pile, so they're not dropping. Looking good.
Well, Josh out here today. We finally got going after the rain. About an inch and a half of rain. A beautiful sunset out there to look at. Digging spuds, a little wet still. Cloudy. Starting to plug up a little bit with dirt. I'll have to get back there and clean it off so it'll shake a little more dirt, then carry it over. Christopher back there behind me and a truck coming out.
Look at this little horseshoe that I just found. So tiny. just had to stop everything because the expandable's all the way in. So now we're gonna take this conveyor out and move the expandable to the next one. So we just ran them off. Now we gotta push this one out of the way. Yeah, probably out that way. Now we gotta push this thing. And it's very heavy. Try and get it oriented the right way. Okay, now we just drive the expandable out. And just like that, we're all ready to go. Just gotta turn everything on. All right guys, well I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, go down below, hit subscribe, it helps us out. It's free if you didn't know. And we're gonna keep digging potatoes here. We're probably gonna be done in about an hour. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Big T, I love you. I'll see you in the next one.